Are back for another live. Hey, happy hump day, happy Wednesday to ya. Let's get into this show, honey, because we got one. Hey, okay. I am Caramel Rell. This is the Caramel Rell Show. All right, everything said in this video is alleged and in my opinion, and is used for fair use and entertainment. All right, let's get turned up here. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are having a happy hump day, having a great day at work, not letting anyone stress you out. Yes, honey, let's get into our show. Let's get into the show. All right, where my mods at? Where my mods at? Let's get in here, mods. Hey, Grandma 504. Hey, Felicia. Hey. Yes, hey, Deborah Johnson. I see you. I see you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. I'm going live on my phone, guys, because I did not bring my laptop on this particular vacation. Okay, I didn't bring it on this particular vacation, but we are still live. All right, I hope you guys are doing well. Let's get into the show. All right, so first topic, we're going to be getting into celebrity news here, so let's get it. So not rapper, but Real Housewives of Potomac's Mia Thornton, you guys. Mia Thornton has a new boo, all right? She has a new boo. She is now dating R&B singer, Bobby Valentino, okay? Everybody was shocked. We just saw this pop out today on several publications, and baby, I was shocked as well. I said, not Mia. Not Mia. Just the other day, Mia was seen in a post with her still husband, Gordon. Y'all know she's still married to Gordon. They call him G on the show Real Housewives of Potomac. She was just seen in a post with him, in a picture. She shared some pictures with Gordon and her husband. And in that post, she says that she was thanking him for being a great, father to their kids, great, husband to her. And it was family over everything, and that, and everybody. And then today, I look at my Instagram, and she's all over Instagram with Bobby Valentino booed up. So I'm confused, because I'm just like, I thought you and Gordon were going to try to work things out and fix things. And you're all booed up with him and family. And then we see you here with Bobby Valentino. So how long have you been dating Bobby Valentino? Because just days ago, you were booed up with Gordon. I'm just thinking like, damn, Mia, you move on quick, girl. And you can do what you want to do. You can do what you want to do, but it just gives weird vibes when you are saying one thing today, and in the next couple of days is, oh, congratulate me, because me and Bobby Valentino, we're an item now. Like, really, Mia? But anyway, let's move on, child. Yes, honey, she is dating Bobby Valentino. And y'all know Bobby Valentino was just caught a few years ago, a couple years ago to be exact, because I reported it here on my channel, with a tranny, y'all, with a Trans Am in his room, because this Trans Am exposed the hell out of him. And Bobby Valentino was running out of a hotel room with his pants around his ankles, and the Trans Am would not give him his keys, so he had to get an Uber. He had to Uber away from the from the hotel where he was seeing this Trans Am at, honey. Mess. So I'm just like, okay, I don't know now, Mia. You might wanna slow your roll and stop just jumping out there and doing these posts, trying to think that trying to do something out here when really you looking crazy. So prayers for Gordon, child, because I know Gordon got to be feeling the way. Just a few days ago, he thought him and Mia was about to work shit out, and now it's giving that Mia is on to the next clown. Child, bye. All right. So anyway, so moving on. Looks like that singer Neo, R&B singer Neo, may have another woman that joins his camp. Now, y'all know he has 4 girlfriends, all right, where he's having like this foursome situation. All right, now, the girl that is alleged to be possibly, we're going to say possibly because Neo has not spoken up yet, but Lil Scrappy's baby mama, his most recent baby mama, who just had this threesome baby with him, you guys, has revealed that she reached out to singer Neo to see if she can be one of his girls. Okay, now she, like I said, recently had a threesome baby with Lil Scrappy from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. All right, and her baby is not even a year old, but she is actually out here shooting her shot and soliciting to be the next girlfriend of celebrity R&B singer Neo. Did y'all know that? I said, child, child, child. Now, I know Mama D is going to have a whole field day with this. Whenever she see this, the whole damn palace, child, going to burn down behind this bullshit. I said, girl, girl, girl. All right, so now, the baby mama, which is Scrappy's baby mama, she states that, she says that I want to be one of Neo's girlfriends. She says, no, for real. She says that he's not really that cute, but, you know, it's just a look. She says, and it looks like they're over there living their best life and having a lot of fun. So I want to be a part of that fun. She says, I need that in my life. She also says, like I told you guys, that she hit up Neo and says that she's waiting to see what he says, if he's gonna, I guess, pull her into this little sex ring that he's having over there to make it a fivesome, because he has, you know, the 4 girlfriends and yeah, well, 6 of them, I guess. Shit, if it's gonna be him. But so I don't know. I feel like she needs to go focus on her baby. Like I said, her baby ain't even a year old. She should probably focus on raising her child and not getting herself into this situation. I know it's all, you know, for money and the lifestyle, because who wants to be in a situation with 4 or 5 other girls that you got to compete for affection from one man? That's sick as hell. But hey, to each his own. I ain't down with that. I don't share that. I don't even like share my damn food, let alone my man. But y'all know Neo's bald-headed turtleneck wearing ass. He don't need no damn threesome, foursome, or fivesome. Okay, he need to be worried about getting some more damn music out there. So so we can stop looking at all this fuck shit that he keep putting on the internet, because he does have kids. He's a father. So it's sad that you raising girls, that you're raising girls, and then at the same time you disrespecting women as well by having this situation. And then I'm hearing that when it's his time to have his kids, that his kids are around this situation as well. So that's very unstable, and that's a nasty situation. So if I was a mother or a baby mama of Neo, which I thank God I would never be, I would feel a way about sending my child to his house knowing that this type of shit is going on with all these women walking around, and it's confusing to kids. Because I mean, in a normal life you would see a mother and a father, but then you go over to see your father and you got 3, 4 other women walking around half dressed, all over him and showing affection to him. It's kind of confusing to a child that is not used to seeing that type of behavior. So I don't know, but let's move on to the next topic. Next topic, honey, is Simon, honey. Simon says, y'all know, everybody know who Simon is. Simon Guobadia, Portia Williams' now ex-husband, because they are divorced, okay? He is still doing interviews and speaking out. He had a most recent conversation with Michelle Atelian, and Simon says, okay, it's funny to say Simon says, but Simon says, honey, that Portia actually requested $30K the first month of their relationship. So my thing is, did you not see what she was about when you guys first started trying to date? If she's asking you up front for $30K in the first month of your relationship, then it gives that maybe she's more into your money than you, right? So his slow scamming ass, he fell for it, okay? And she must have been swallowing him up real good for him to agree to give her $30K a month until they got into the marital situation, which then bumped it up to $40K a month. All right, so immediately he began giving her $30K, and she saw a sucker and he fell for that shit. Maybe because, you know, Portia, and no homo, but she's a bad bitch out here. Portia's a bad bitch out here. She got a nice body. She's not a bad girl to look at, no homo again. But yeah, but she was able to scam a scammer, and I feel like Simon feels a way about it, because for a very long time he's been able to get over on women and get over on other people as well. But he, kind of met his match when he met Portia's ass, because she took his ass up and through there and took his money, and now he is mad. So y'all know he is ordered now by the judge, per their divorce, per their prenuptial, as I like to call it, that he was supposed to pay her $40K for the next 36 months. You guys know he was deported back to Nigeria. He's also staying in Dubai as well. He is not going to pay that money since he's been deported, and I don't feel like they can make him pay it unless they're going to bring his ass back to the States, which I don't think they will. So y'all know Portia, and I announced as well that Portia is set to move out of the house that she and Simon shared. She was going to stay there for the next 36 months because he was ordered to pay all the bills in that home, but he has made it very publicly known in his interview with Michelle Atelian, shout out to her, that he ain't trying to see that shit. He's telling her, get out of my pockets. And you can go look at the interview because I shared it. He told Portia, hey, get out of my pockets. I'm not getting ready to keep paying you. It's over. We're divorced. Hell no. And get the fuck out of my house too. So that's pretty much what he told her ass in a nutshell. So shout out to Portia, honey, for pulling a U on Simon's ass. And should have been stacking that money as well. I'd have been stacking 30,000. You spend a little bit, but then you stack it as well. Portia's been getting a lot of body enhancements too, because I do follow her. She just had her, I think she had like a breast lift or something done with her breast most recently, and she's had some other things done. I think she had like some lipo and some other things. That shit costs money. So if you're spending, taking expensive vacations and all that, eventually if you don't manage it properly, you know, you will be up against it a little bit. So shout out to Portia, honey. Shout out to Portia and shout out to Simon, I guess, for moving on. Well, he hadn't really moved on because he's still talking about her. They've been, divorced now a good solid month, I want to say. And he's still talking about the shit like it just happened yesterday. But I guess, child, moving on, child, moving on. Hey, guys, thanks to everybody for coming in. I see you, Sweet Essence, in the building. Thanks for being here. Kelly S., I see you in the building. Darling Mungum, Delilah T., I see you, okay? I see you, Elizabeth. I see you, Deborah. I see you, Purple Unicorn. That's a content creator. Y'all check him out. Say, I have no sympathy for Simon. Me either. Simon been married 5 times, so he know how this shit work, okay? You don't have 5 wives. There's no reason for you to still be getting got by these women out here. But go off. All right, so next topic, you guys. Tyrese, as I call him, Cryreese, honey, is in a situation where his ass about to get locked up, okay? After his ex-wife, Samantha, says that he still has not paid the $500,000 in legal fees that he was ordered to pay from their divorce, all right? Now, the judge told his ass he had to pay them legal fees. He has refused to do so, just like he refused to also pay his child support, which he was ordered to do, and he did not do it, and his ass got locked up. So in an effort for him to get out of jail, that's when he paid what he was supposed to pay in that back child support. So now it's looking like the only way they're going to get them legal fees up out his ass is to lock him up. That's what it's giving. All right, so I'm gonna be looking for a crime video here in the next 24 hours if he ain't already did one, because I do follow him. I'm gonna have to go check to see if his ass done did a video crying in the video talking about, oh, what do you want from me? Bitch, we want the legal fees, 500K of it, okay? You a Marvel actor. Get your ass up there and write that check and pay that damn legal fee. All right, but they have, Samantha and Tyrese, they have one daughter together. I think she's like 6 years old now, he has other kids as well. His oldest daughter is living with him now. She's, I think, still in college. So in an effort for him to not have to pay any more child support to her mother, he chose to have her come and stay with him. So I'm not sure the arrangement that he has with his first wife in terms of their child. But in terms of his most recent child with Samantha, she's on his ass. And her attorneys are requesting jail time since he is refusing to comply with a court order of paying the $500K in the legal fees. Okay, so she on that ass. All right, so we'll see what happens with that, if Tyrese goes to jail again, or if he decides to go ahead and comply with what the courts have asked him to do. Then we will see what happens. And any updates, you guys know, if you guys follow me, y'all know I always spin the block and give you guys updates on whatever topics we talk about, so y'all will know what happens after we spill the tea on what happened, right? All right, so let's get to the next topic. Next topic, honey, is Kimmy's son, Jaylen, okay, reveals that that he and he lets Maurice know that he left, or that he felt away, not left, but that he felt away about Maurice and how he treated him during the time that he stayed in the house with Kimmy. Y'all remember that Jaylen, which is Kimmy's son on Love and Marriage Huntsville, used to stay in the house with Kimmy, and then Maurice, of course, moved in. And then Maurice also moved his son Monster in as well. So in a recent clip that I just saw, where Jaylen made it very much so known to Maurice that he felt a way that he was like trying to dog him out and be bossy towards him, because y'all know Jaylen and Maurice is not Jaylen's dad. But he moved in and had this militant attitude towards Jaylen, and Jaylen lets him know that he would make him get up off the game and do chores, whereas he would sit there and not say anything to Monster or make him do any chores. Now, y'all remember on the show where Kimmy was saying that Monster doesn't do any chores, Monster doesn't do anything, he don't help out around the house, he don't clean up after himself, like when he eat, none of that. But when it came to Kimmy's son, Jaylen, Maurice would fuss him out and be very militant towards him. And then we also saw on the show that Monster was even saying that his dad, which is Maurice, wasn't even really spending time with him. So he had all this energy for Kimmy's son and not his own son, who he fussed with his own mother, Kiowa, to ask could he come and stay in the house with him, only to make him or make Kimmy be a babysitter for his son while he ran the streets and stayed out until 5 to 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay. Now, what kind of shit is that? And my thing is this, Kimmy, if this is the type of lifestyle you like, okay. But your son, and it seemed like a very genuine, and I know this is a show, but it seemed very genuine when Jaylen was telling this to Maurice, because Maurice, y'all know how Maurice have that dumb look on his face, like this is the first time he heard the shit. But Jaylen, of course, y'all know Jaylen eventually moved out because he couldn't take the shit no more. And he now has his own home. He's doing well. But the reason why he had to move out is because Maurice moved in and it made things uncomfortable for him, had this militant lifestyle that he was trying to invoke on Jaylen and not having that same energy for Monster. He said Monster would be sitting there just playing the game. You wouldn't say anything to him. The trash have to go out. This has to be done. That has to be done. He would make Jaylen do it all while Monster sat on his ass and did nothing. So this is why Monster always have this look on his face when Maurice is trying to tell him, oh, you should do this and you should do that, because you didn't instill that in him growing up. You allowed him to do what the fuck he wanted to do and be lazy. So now that you're trying to give him all this unsolicited advice, he looking at you like, bitch, I don't want to hear that shit. Like, you didn't do that when I was growing up. Don't be worrying about it now. All right, but Jaylen, like I said, Jaylen, which is Kimmy's son, moved out because he did not like how he was being treated by Maurice. And I feel like Maurice didn't want him there because maybe Jaylen had a lot to say to Kimmy about how Maurice was treating her. Because y'all know boys are very protective over their mother. So for Jaylen to see certain things like Maurice staying out all night, or maybe the way he maybe talked to Kimmy, or maybe manipulated Kimmy, Jaylen was of age to be able to see these things and to be able to give his, advice to Kimmy. Or maybe he stepped into a few arguments between Kimmy and Maurice felt like, okay, it ain't gonna be but one man at the house. You gonna have to go. So he made it so uncomfortable for Jaylen, to where Jaylen wound up having to move out first to get his own apartment, and then from there he wound up getting his own home and has never moved back into the house. And Jaylen, y'all remember saying on the show that Kimmy was the love of his life, because prior to Maurice coming into the picture, it was only Kimmy and Jaylen. It was only Kimmy and Jaylen. So with her meeting Maurice, if y'all go back and look at I want to say season 1, or was it season 2, when Kimmy and Maurice got married, Jaylen didn't look happy at the wedding. When they showed the two of them, and y'all remember they got married on the yacht, when they showed Kimmy and Maurice getting married and Jaylen had to give Kimmy away, he didn't seem happy about it. It seemed like it was just something that he was doing just because it's something that his mother wanted him to do. But in terms of him looking like he was happy that his mother was meeting this man who was supposed to be the love of her life, that was going to take care of her, that he was happy that she found his happiness, he didn't look happy about that at all. He just was going along with it to get along. So now we see with Jaylen finally speaking up on how he feels about Maurice and how he felt that he was being treated in that house. It seemed like he was very hurt by that. And he looked like he was about to be emotional behind that because he loves his mom. But Maurice did not want him around because I feel like he knew that Jaylen was talking sense into his mom. And we all know them Scott boys do not like it when somebody is trying to give them any type of advice on the fact that they are shitty husbands, or the fact that they may have been out cheating. And you know, when a person is trying to manipulate you, they don't want you to hear the truth from somebody else. They want you to only hear from them. They only want you to hear their voice. It's like Kimmy is in some type of love trance with Maurice, and that anything that he says is just like his law. So for her son or anybody else to come in and give her any type of advice that's contrary to what Maurice may be giving her, okay, because we've seen Kimmy crying several times on TV for things that she is not in agreement with Maurice, but she go along with it because what else is she going to do? So the situation was uncomfortable for her, so much so till she had to get a whole fucking dog. She had to have a dog around so that she can just get through the day, get through life, a support dog, when your husband should be your support system. This is a sad situation. But Kimmy let Maurice run her son off and then move his son in, only to be a babysitter for him while he ran the streets, like I said. And Kimmy also was working. She was a nurse. She also did her real estate work as well. And then she still had to come home, take care of Maurice, clean the house, look after her son, also make sure her son had something to eat as well. So she had a lot on her while Maurice did nothing. Maurice didn't take the fucking trash out because he was ordering Kimmy's son to do it. So he made sure that his time was all to himself so that he could do all the things he wanted to do while he kept Kimmy and her son busy. So women, for those of you that are dating or you're looking to date and bringing a man into your home, make sure it's someone who has your best interest and your children's best interest at heart. Because they're not only dating you, they're also dating your kids as well. They're also in your kids' life as well. You don't want to bring someone in that's going to make things so uncomfortable for your children until they feel ostracized and that they don't feel loved or important or needed or wanted, and that your needs just are more priority over theirs. Because then that's when emotional issues kick in, and then they're going to wind up needing some type of therapy, or they're going to start acting out and lashing out for some type of attention to say, hey mom, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? So that's it, and that's all on that topic. Let's continue on. All right, let's continue on. According to the girls are fighting, and the girls are fighting, child, because Teyana Taylor says that that her baby daddy, honey, ex-husband Iman Shumpert, is a professional victim. Now y'all know she's moved on. She's dating this other guy. He's a really nice guy, right? Really nice looking guy. Okay. Now she says that Iman, which is her ex-husband, is bitter and that he's making efforts to gaslight her, okay, and that he was asked to pay, that he was asking her to pay his legal bills as well in court. Now, y'all know most recently, I want to say a month or two ago, that Iman was requesting that Teyana be locked up in jail because he didn't like the style of parenting. He was saying that Teyana was not allowing him to see the kids when he wanted to, that he wanted to pick the kids up from school. She wasn't allowing it. So they were going through that. Y'all know they were, going through a nice little breakup. They wanted their divorce to be private, but he made it public, and that's something that she had a problem with. He was putting every single solitary detail out about their divorce, and she was mad about that, okay? So I'm not putting it all on him, because y'all know men can be very bitter. Look at Martell. When a woman decides that she doesn't want to be with them anymore, Martell, Iman, and let's say Ralph, we can keep going. There's so many names that we can name, but sometimes these men can become very bitter to where they make things very difficult for you and make your life a living fucking hell if they don't get what they want, which is you most of the time. And sometimes it's not even because they're in love with you. It's because they become comfortable in that certain lifestyle, because we all know that Teyana was making more money than Iman. Teyana came out real good in her divorce in terms of getting properties, cars, and she was able to keep, the rights to her music and anything else that she had going on. And Iman was very mad and bitter by that. He has to also give her child support for their children. And they did get where they have to share custody of their kids as well, which is fine. Excuse me, because he's supposed to be, he's supposed to be their dad. Well, he is their dad. So that is something that the courts did require him to do. But he is upset because he's seeing Teyana out with her new boyfriend publicly. They were at the BET Awards. They're seen at different basketball games. They're out on red carpets. He see how happy she is and how supportive he is. And he's still single. So now he's kind of feeling away like, well, damn, she moved on so fast after we got divorced. Like, maybe she didn't love me. Some people think like that. Like, damn, if you move on so fast from a person, they start kind of questioning themselves like, well, damn, did they really love me? Then, was her heart really with me? Because if it's so easy for them to move on and be in love so quickly, then maybe I was just not who I thought I was to them. So he's sitting back watching her and her happiness and her level up and the fact that her career is still taking off, and he's just kind of stagnant right now. So now he's starting to taunt her and starting to comfort her. Teyana continues by saying that Iman, like I said, was gaslighting her. She also says that he's bitter and that he's starting to try to drain her and her energy because she chose to move on. And she started encouraging him to try to move on and spend more time with his kids and to stop worrying about her and who she's with and what she's doing. She said that she let Iman also know that there is nothing more to discuss between the two of them. I mean, I don't want to talk about us. Now, if there's something going on with the kids, you can call me. We'll discuss that, but let's cut it off from there. I don't want to talk about me. I don't want to talk about who I'm dating, where I'm going, what I'm doing, why we were on the red carpet, none of that. What happened what happened when we were together, because you want to go back and reiterate all the things that did not happen or that could have happened or that could have been different when we were together, and it's null and void now. We're divorced. So she's letting him know, I don't wish to have these conversations with you anymore. Keep it strictly with or about the children, because they do share 2 daughters, all right? Now, Iman also responded by saying that that Teyana keeps trying to, or that she will sometimes text him first, okay? which I'm not saying she might not. She may text him first. We don't know what the conversations are. But he's saying that sometimes Teyana would turn around and text him first, but then start crashing out on him over the phone. And he's saying, oh, it's getting tiring. But then she's saying that there's multiple texts, that he would continuously text her multiple text messages, and that's starting to be a lot as well. So maybe it seems that the two of them haven't gotten each other out of their system. Maybe because sometimes people move on with someone else in order to make them feel like they've moved on, but they still harbor those feelings for that person. And I just feel like this: if you've been with somebody for years and y'all bear children together, it's a certain bond and or link, and it takes time to get that person out of your system. So just because you see somebody with somebody else, it doesn't mean that they fully over that person. It means that maybe they're getting over that person. But I think Iman knows, Teyana enough to know that maybe that this is just like a rebound or a come up, or maybe she's just doing this in order to help her heal. Because sometimes people have to have other people around in order to help them heal or appear to be healing. All right. But I like Teyana and her new, I like Teyana and her new guy, but we just never know why a person chooses to be with someone. We don't know what this new guy is giving her. Maybe he's her peace for right now. Maybe that's what she was looking for in this new relationship with this guy. Maybe she was looking for peace, being that she was coming out of a very chaotic situation with her ex-husband, Iman, who was very jealous of her, who didn't want to see her on red carpets, who would get mad when photographers would ask him to step out of pictures because they just only wanted to capture her. He would be mad that she even talked about how she had to turn down certain jobs in Hollywood because he would be mad that she was getting all of the clout, money, and attention. So it's bad when you have to dumb yourself down when you're with a person in order to make them feel relevant. And if you're in any situation like that, get far away from that person. Get far away from that person if you got to dumb yourself down in order to be great and be who you are. Okay, let's continue on. Kenya Moore is still speaking out. We just talked about her yesterday. Y'all know she is facing $80,000 of an eviction for her new hair spa. We talked about that yesterday. We talked about her mentioning that she's not returning back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. She also broke the fourth wall and told the new cast members that will be joining next season 17 of Real Housewives of Atlanta as well. I'm not sure she was supposed to do that, but I guess she feels like, fuck it, y'all ain't gonna call me back. I'm just gonna tell everything I know. Okay, but she's still speaking out, and she calls out reality stars who hide skeletons in the closet and then turn around and sue. She's also having some tension with Cynthia Bailey because she mentions that Cynthia Bailey was supposed to be her friend, but she turned around and was telling her personal business to some of the other cast members on the show. So she calls her out as well. Now, she also throws shade after she said that $20 million lawsuit, meaning y'all know who she's talking about, Britt Eady, who was on the show, who was in this whole back and forth with Kenya. It was said that Kenya showed some explicit pictures of Britt Eady, in which Britt Eady became very vocal about it, in which Bravo then stepped in, suspended Kenya. Then we know that she was fired from the show. All right. So Kenya is saying that the cast on the show, meaning the women, they actually air out personal drama, and then they run and take legal action against the network that actually gave them a platform. She said that why do people go on TV with skeletons? She said that when you actually go and sign a whole NDA. So that still does not give you a reason or right to put out a person's explicit pictures or anything explicit information about someone because you feel like they signed some type of NDA and that they're on a show. They still have a right to their privacy, okay? She says that you know what you're signing up for when you get in this situation. So Kenya is actually clapping back, and she's crashing out as well since, like I said, her announcement of not returning back to the show. I think her walls are starting to crumble around her, being that her money is a little funny now by not getting those Bravo checks that she was getting on Real Housewives of Atlanta because she was getting a nice little bag. I told y'all she was getting like $500,000 to $800,000 per episode, okay? Or was it per season? But anywho, she was doing very, very well on the show and not so much now. Of course, like I said, her recent eviction, she's facing a lot of money for that in terms of legal fees that her landlord is asking for her hair care spa, and some recent tax issues that she recently had as you know, related to her home. So prayers up for her, because she is a mother. Like I said it yesterday, I'm not a huge fan of Kenya Moore, but she is a mom, and she does have the right to, you know, get her shit in order and be able to take care of her bills and responsibilities. Okay, her hair care spa was another form of income that she needed to take care of her daughter. I think I have a more sensitive side when it comes to Kenya now that she's a mom, because I get it. I'm a mom. Okay, I'm a mom, and I would hate for someone to take away my way of being able to support me and mine. So I get it that she's dealing with this. She has a very nasty disposition. But on the flip side, when it comes to her being a mother and her losing the things that she needs in order to take care of her business, that part I get, and I do sympathize in that fashion. Okay, but let's continue. Okay, but she is wrong a lot in some of the things that she does, and I'm not even going to excuse that. But in this situation, I feel like maybe this is a humbling experience from God for her. Okay, that she maybe need to humble herself a bit, and then maybe things will turn out a little bit better for her. But sometimes, you know, sometimes God got to put you in a situation where He got to break you so you can see yourself, and then He'll kind of release that you know. that thing from you so that you can kind of move from under that spell and then be a better person and be able to do what you need to do and move accordingly. Everybody's been in that situation before where you just out here lashing out and just doing shit and you just don't see yourself. Sometimes God have to back you in a corner and put His thumb on you and be like, okay, I ain't removing my thumb until you see yourself. You're going to sit right here. You're going to deal with it. You're going to deal with this pain. Shit around you just going to keep crumbling. And I'm not going to stop until you stop, until you see yourself. Sometimes you just got to see yourself. And that go for anybody. If you out here on the crazy mess, you better stop it. Because you can find yourself in a situation where everything around you will begin to crumble, and you start losing things, including your mind, if you don't soon get it. All right, let's move forward. Now we got an update with Sean Diddy Combs. Everybody know him as Diddy, honey. Let's get into Diddy, honey. Diddy with his Diddy oils and all this other stuff. Now, there's an update. Judge Submarinian has given prosecutors until this Thursday, which is tomorrow, to respond to Sean Diddy Combs' request that he be released from jail before his sentencing. Now, you know his sentencing is coming up October the 3rd. Diddy's trying to get out early by putting up $50 million, where his Miami home he put up for his money towards his bail. Okay. Now Diddy's attorney says that his continued incarceration is unwarranted, and that they just filed this newly filed motion for the judge. Now his attorneys also says that this case is unlike any case, you guys, that they have ever tried before. Okay. They said that that this case with Diddy has never been one, that there's never been a case like this with Diddy, because they're saying that it was consensual sex with his longtime partner, which is Cassie, and they're also saying that Diddy was involved or enrolled, rather, that he recently enrolled in a DV program before they actually arrested him to be locked up for these said crimes. Okay, so they believe that he is not a danger to anyone. But my thing is, and I said it yesterday when we talked about this, I feel he is a danger because of the people who cooperated with you know, the feds and with the courts in terms of this case, like Kid Cudi, like Cassie, like you know, not Christina Corbin, but what's the other girl's name? Why I can't remember that. Anyway, there were so many other people who testified in this case, and I feel like and gave statements as well and cooperated with this case. So I feel like if and when he gets out, do I feel like there's going to be some type of retaliation? Probably. But his attorneys are using everything that they can in order to say that he is this changed man and that he's working towards being a better person. And he knew whenever he got caught, and this is my problem with people, don't run and try to make it appear that you ain't doing shit when you really are, like Diddy. Like, why go and enroll in a DV program when for years you've been stomping bitches out and hitting women and putting your hands on women and men, and have been named in a few alleged cases of people not even being here anymore? So why now? Why, when Cassie's video come out where everybody can physically see you hitting, stomping, kicking, and pulling this woman and being aggressive towards her, why is it now that you would run to a DV center or program in order to say you're getting some type of help, when I feel like you were only doing it to have or to make the court see you or view you in a different light? It's no different than Karen Huger, who been getting DUI after DUI, and now when it's almost time for you to go to court to answer to your most recent DUI, you go and enroll into a drinking program. You weren't doing that for the first DUI. You damn sure didn't do it for the second one. Now she had 4. So you wait until it's almost time for you to go to court so you can be viewed in court as this person who's really trying to get their shit together, when really you just want another drink. That's just what it is. So his attorneys are saying he's really not he's not that person that's any that's going to be a problem, or that he doesn't have this aggression because he went through this DV program. I don't feel like he's changed at all. I feel like he's manipulating the system is what he's doing. Okay. This boy been stomping hoes out since the 90s. So ain't nobody gonna tell me no different that Diddy is a changed man. I don't believe it. And yes, people do have the right to change, and people can change. But so a person like Diddy, who's very narcissistic and controlling and violent, because we saw that shit. I don't even have to see the video anymore. I don't physically have to see the video anymore between he and Cassie at that hotel. I think I've seen it so much until my mental Rolodex, if I just think about it, I can see the video from start to finish. And the way he was aggressive towards her and the way she immediately went into the fetal position lets me know that this is something that's happened for quite some time. And she has now come to the point to where she is just in protective mode. I'm just going to take it. I'm going to put up with it. And I'm just going to protect myself through it and just hope that I don't die or be unalive in the end. That's what it gives. So we're going to see what happens. Again, his sentencing is still set for October 3rd. We will see what happens tomorrow. There has to be an update tomorrow because they're waiting to see what is said tomorrow. Okay, so when we get that, you guys will get that update from me. Let's move on. Nene Leaks, you guys. Nene Leaks has tore down the fourth wall of what happens behind the scenes on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, I'm like, Nene, if you're trying to come back to the show, you might not want to be telling things and or revealing things that happens with production and you know, Bravo and how they choose to do things on the show if you're looking to come back in a friend of magnitude. All right. So capacity rather. So Nene Leaks, you guys. I saw a post where Nene Leaks is speaking out, and she sat down and did this this conversation with was it Meredith? I think this lady's name was Meredith, on her podcast. Now, she says that Bravo and its executives told her upon Kandi Burruss coming on to the show to, and I say it in air parentheses, get Kandi and come for Kandi. I know who Kandi is, Kandi Burruss. She says upon Kandi coming onto the show, they wanted to get ratings up to be high ratings and for the show to be interesting. So Nene says that Bravo executives and production in Bravo came to her and told her to get Kandi and come for Kandi. Okay, on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Y'all know that? Nene also goes on to say that she told them that she did not want to come for Kandi because she was not trying to tear another black woman down. I was like, is that the reason? Because we did see her and Kandi having a knockdown drag out. And y'all know their first huge blow up was behind that song, the Don't Be Tardy for the Party song, with Kim Zolciak, when Nene was initially supposed to be on the song, when Kim made it very clear that after she and Nene fell out, that she didn't want want Nene to be on the song. So Nene took out her aggression on Kandi at some type of event that they were at. Y'all remember on the show. So Nene said that producers pushed her to argue with Kandi for ratings, and she said she told them no. But then we did see them going back and forth on the show, because that's the same episode when Kandi told Nene, I'm gonna stop talking to you because you're gonna make me blow up on a bitch. Y'all remember that? And that's when Kandi kind of like you know, stomped at her, like railed up at her, and Nene just kind of looked at her like, oh, she ain't scared of me. Like, she ain't scared of me. Like, Kandi would really come back at me. So if you notice, like, Nene was still trying to throw like little digs at Kandi, but they didn't have a huge like blow up after that. Okay, now they had some words on a reunion, I remember, but it wasn't as you know, it wasn't as lethal as it was in that particular scene, in my opinion. Okay. So Nene says that producers pushed her to argue with Kandi for ratings, and like I said, she told them no. Nene also goes on to say that a lot of unfair treatment was also happening to her over the years on the show that nobody knew about, which made her go and file the lawsuit in the end. Now, she says that Kim Zolciak being on the show, she said that Kim got preferential treatment on the show, and she was asked, well, what type of preferential treatment? She was saying that Kim didn't have to travel on cast trips with the girls. She says that none of the cast actually wanted to go on the cast trips. Did y'all know that? I never knew that, because they looked like they were having fun to me. But she says behind the scenes that they didn't want to go on. They didn't really want to go on these cast trips. They didn't want to be away from their men, their kids and stuff like that. But they were required to by Bravo to go on all these cast trips. So Nene was like, yeah, the girls didn't want to go on these trips, but Kim was the only one out of all the girls that was able to sit the trips out and not go. She says the only trip that Kim actually went to was when they all took a trip to Miami. Okay. She says because Kim was white, and she said that Kim got away with a lot of things on the show and was not required to do what the other black castmates on Real Housewives of Atlanta had to do. She said that the only trip that Kim actually went to out of all the trips that the girls went to when Kim was on the show was the trip to Miami. And she didn't even stay for the whole trip. And production and Bravo allowed Kim to do that. So that's why Nene was saying that she felt that there was a lot of racial stuff going on, and that there was a lot of preferential treatment, and that she was done wrong behind the scenes because they gave Kim Zolciak a reality show, which the show did well. But Nene said that she had been pitching her own show for her and Greg and her family as well, which she thought would have been more interesting, but Bravo kept turning her down. But then they just went right there and picked up Kim's Tardy, Don't Be Tardy for the Party show. So this is one of the reasons why she filed the lawsuit. Okay. Nene also goes on to say that she began getting less episodes on Real Housewives of Atlanta because she started speaking out. So they were punishing her behind the scenes for speaking out and pointing out things that production and Andy Cohen was doing and then it made it appear that she was being problematic on the show and that she was hard to work with. So when she heard Portia on the situation with the Upshaws on Netflix say that, oh, Nene is hard to work with, Nene is problematic, you don't want to work with Nene, she said that was just like hearing that all over again. And as she said, I've never been problematic, but she said, do people feel like I should not speak up on things that I'm dealing with or that I'm going through, and that other people can just speak freely? And as soon as I do, they cut my episodes, which means they're cutting her money. That was their way of telling her, bitch, shut your mouth. Deal with what we're putting you through, and shut your mouth and deal with it. You getting a check, right? We're paying you to deal with the bullshit, so deal with it quietly. But when she said she started speaking out and pointing out things that production was putting her through and things that she was seeing that she was not in favor of, they start cutting her episodes and her money, and people started seeing her less and less on the show. And they started saying that she was becoming very problematic and that she was a problem on the show. So these are things that she says happened behind the scenes on the show that she was continuously dealing with. Okay, what do y'all think about that? Okay, y'all can put in the chat what y'all think about the topics. Let's get on to this last and final topic. I'm not going to keep you guys long, okay, because we got some plans to go somewhere a little bit later, and I need to get ready for that. But I wanted to touch bases with you guys, and I will be tapping in with you guys again. Okay, all right, so let's get into this next topic. All right, so wrestler Hogan, y'all know he passed away a few days ago. All right, was it last week? I think it was in the last week. All right, so he passed away, but his daughter, you guys, his daughter is dating a black guy. And prior to his death, Hulk Hogan made it very much so known that he was not in favor of his daughter's relationship with this black guy. And he was very public about it. He also made a post about it. All right, and I'm going to read to you guys what he had to say. So a lot of people were doing their rest in peace to Hulk Hogan post, and some people were very sad and shocked that he passed away the other day. Now, Hulk Hogan's daughter, okay, is skipping his funeral and refusing any shares of his $25 million estate after he disrespected her publicly and made a derogatory comment about her dating a black man, okay? I said that has to be your worst fear, for you to be a racist individual and your very own daughter publicly dates a black person, the very thing that you don't like. Now, I grew up watching wrestling. I didn't even know until later on that Hulk Hogan had some racist tendencies about him. And it was even more clear to me when I found out that he was that way towards his daughter's boyfriend. Okay? Yeah, let's continue. Now, Hulk Hogan was exposed for his racist rants about black people prior to his death, as I just told you guys. Now, his family made a statement most recently saying that it is so disrespectful to call him a racist at a time like this, meaning his death. Everyone found out he passed away. A lot of people was like, fuck Hulk Hogan. We don't give a fuck that he passed away. That racist bastard. Oh, they went in. I saw some of the comments. I was just like, oh, wow. Oh, wow. Tell us how you really feel. They went in on his ass because of how he spoke negatively about his daughter's black boyfriend. So his family is like, y'all are disrespectful to call him a racist at a time like this. So was it not as disrespectful for him to say the shit that he said? And I'm about to read it to you right here in a few minutes. Is it not disrespectful, or was it not disrespectful, because he's no longer here, of the things that he said or had to say about this black guy who just wanted to be loved, or who fell in love, just so happened to be with his daughter? Let's continue. Oh, yeah, he's, yeah, racist. I said, oh, Lord. Do I need to take my rest in peace back? Let me stop. All right, so y'all know he did die of a heart attack. I showed you guys the video where paramedics were there. They were still trying to give him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. They were pressing on his chest compressions, trying to bring him back. They were unsuccessful, okay? Now, this is what Hulk Hogan had to say in his rant. And I had to change some of my wordings around because I didn't want it to be too much. But he was very raw with what he had to say. And this is what he says, and I quote, he says, I mean, I'd rather if she was going to uck, meaning F-U-C-K, some ninja, N-I-G-G-E-R is what he put. I'd rather have her marry an 8-foot-tall ninja, N-I-G-G-R, worth $100 million like a basketball player. So as long as she dating a regular schmegler old guy, black guy to be exact, you don't like that because he ain't got no money. So you can look past your racist tendencies if he's got if he's got so many millions of dollars, $100 million. So he got to have up to $100 million to be good enough for you to put your racism aside in order to date your daughter. That's some bullshit. He says, I guess we're all a little racist. These are his words, and I'm quoting it word for word. He says, I guess we're all a little racist. Effing ninja. He put N-I-G-G-E-R. Y'all know the white people, that's how they do it. We say N-I-G-G-A. He put N-I-G-G-E-R. He said it multiple times. Let me count. I said at least 3 or 4 of the N-I-G-G-E-Rs. So you don't like black men dating your daughter unless they sitting on a nice coin. What kind of shit is that? Why does that matter who your daughter fall in love with? What's up, KBR? What's up, Tyra? Thank y'all for being in the building. What difference does it make who your daughter fall in love with? I'm gonna read it again. He says, I mean, I'd rather if she was going to uck some ninja, that I'd rather have her marry an 8-foot-tall ninja worth $100 million like a basketball player. I guess we're all a little racist, effing ninja. This is what Hulk Hogan had to say about his daughter's boyfriend, which is why she has decided not to come to his funeral, and she doesn't want anything that he's left behind in terms of his legacy for her. She's refusing that. Now, I'd have took that. I don't know about you. Now, you can be ready. I'd have took that money. I'd have been like, fuck that. I put that shit into an account and let it grow. I'm going to take a nice little vacation behind it. I'm going to pay off all my fucking bills. I ain't that fucking mad. 25 million? Whatever her cut is, bitch, I'd have still took that money, but I'd have been like, you a sorry racist ass bastard. I'd probably cuss his ass out, but I damn sure would have took that money. Fuck that. I ain't gonna never be that broke, or I ain't gonna never be that mad. All right, I ain't gonna never be that fucking mad. What y'all think? Yes, they said Brooke is standing on this. I like that. Brooke is a beautiful, no homo. Brooke is a beautiful girl, honey, with that blonde hair. Y'all know she looked just like her mama Linda. Y'all remember the show that? Y'all remember they had the reality show, and I watched it. But I had no idea when I was such a, fanning out over Hulk Hogan that he was this type of racist, y'all. But now, and then too, I told you guys too that they said a month before he got the month before he had his heart attack most recently, that he went and got baptized, and they said that he was trying to like dedicate his life to God and all that. So maybe he knew that he was gonna be out of here. I don't know. Maybe he had this premonition, but he ran to the church, honey, and got baptized, and maybe he apologized to God for what he had to say. But you got to understand that what you had to say was left behind, and you still did not fix your situation with your daughter. So you left this earth with your daughter still having a bad taste in her mouth about you, to where she don't even want to come to your fucking funeral. That's sad. When you don't want to go to your own parents' funeral, that's something you can never get back. If you decide not to go to your family's funeral, that's like missing the birth of your child. That's like a father missing the birth of your child. You cannot get that shit back. Yeah, you can look at a video, but to be there and watch that child and clip that umbilical cord, that you can't get that moment back. So to say I ain't going to this motherfucker funeral because he racist, If he feel that way about my boyfriend, I ain't gonna be there. Fuck that. Hey, somebody said the water is bubbling when he got in there. Not the water start boiling, child. Probably. Sweet Elsa said, y'all gonna take that money too. Fuck that. 25 million. Whatever her cut is, because you know she had a brother too. So I'm pretty sure, because you know he ain't gonna leave that wife Linda shit, because y'all know he was married again to his wife, looked just like his ex-wife Linda. I said, damn, he got a type. When I saw the woman, I said, is that Linda? Then I had to look again. I was like, nah, this is another little young wife who looks like his ex-wife Linda. So he had a little type. He like them blonde. But he had a daughter and a son. He had his daughter Brooke, and I forget what the son's name is. But anyway, so he left a $25 million estate for his kids. And she said, I don't want none of that shit. I don't want none of that from this racist bastard. She is really, really not putting up with his shit. And I said, well, damn. Maybe, honey, maybe down the line she'll be like, hey, you know, I was mad then. Go on and give me my cut of this money. But as of right now, she said, fuck that. Yeah, I don't want nothing from that racist bastard. What y'all think about these topics we talked about, honey? Hogan out here being racist, the racist comment and message that he left behind about his daughter Brooke's boyfriend, and the fact that she don't want to come to his damn funeral. Nene breaking the fourth wall, talking about how Bravo tried to sick her on Kandi Burruss when upon Kandi coming on to Real Housewives of Atlanta to have two black women fighting on their network in order for ratings. Let me know how y'all feel about Diddy and his upcoming bond hearing or possible. He might be getting out. We don't know. He might be getting out early. I seriously hope not. Let me know what y'all think about Teyana and Iman still going back and forth. Kenya Moore talking about the castmates on the show and her recent fallout with Cynthia Bailey. Since Cynthia Bailey went back and told some of her personal information, according to Kenya Moore, to some of the cast members on the show. She's upset about that. She has put that out there as well. Y'all know, honey, when you piss Kenya off, Kenya gonna tell your shit. All right. Y'all, let me know what y'all feel about Jaylen speaking out about how Maurice treated him growing up in the house to where he had to move out in order to get peace, and Kimmy allowed it. What else did we talk about? Simon, let me let y'all, y'all tell me what y'all feel about Simon saying that Portia requested $30K from him 1 month into their relationship, only to turn around and for them to now be divorced, and he was ordered to pay her $40K and to handle all the bills for 36 months, and he has refused to do so. And also we talked about Tyrese, aka Cryreese, about to go to jail over his $500,000 that he was supposed to pay in legal fees from his ex-wife Samantha, who her attorneys are now requesting jail time for him. And Lil Scrappy's baby mama, most recent baby mama, where he had the threesome baby, who is soliciting to be Neo, R&B singer Neo's fifth girlfriend, okay? Because y'all know he has 4. She wants to be his 5th girlfriend, and she has reached out to Neo. So wonder what I said. Wonder what they think about that, child. I don't know. And also the recent most recently, Mia Thornton from Real Housewives of Potomac is now dating R&B singer Bobby Valentino after just popping out days ago with Gordon and saying that family over everything and how much of a great husband he was. So now she has popped out with rapper Bobby, I mean singer, not rapper, but singer Bobby Valentino, okay? So all of these topics that we talked about, you can put into the comments. I'm very interested to see what you guys think about it and how y'all feel. Of course, y'all know I do comment and I do reply to comments. So put them in there, whatever you guys want to say. And I will definitely reply accordingly, okay? You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, a wonderful hump day. For those of you that at work, don't let nobody piss you off. For those of you that may be off work today, enjoy your day off. Thank you to all of my mods, KBR. Thank you so much, Sweet Essence. Thank you so much, Tyra. Thank you so much, who else I got, y'all? Tyra, Scorpion Miss, KBR, and thank you so much, Sweet Essence, and hold on. Oh, Rose Armstead, okay, Rose Armstead. Y'all almost forgot my minds, damn. And thank you so much. I saw Schoolboy in the house. Thank you so much, Schoolboy. Simple Mom Family TV, thank you for being here too, love, if you're in the building. Thank you, Sunny Days, for being in the building. I appreciate you. Kelly S, thank you for being here. I know Kelly S is not a content creator, but thank you so much for being here. I just saw her popping in. Who else? Do we have any more content creators in the building? Do we have any more? Purple Unicorn, if you're here, love, thanks for being here as well, okay? I appreciate you all for coming over and supporting the channel. Don't forget to tap on that like button for me. Who else? Who else? Who else? Do we have any more? Somebody say happy birthday to me. Yep, my birthday is tomorrow. Yes, your girl's birthday is tomorrow. So, hey, Leos, honey, we are kicking the door down in this bitch. All right? We are kicking the door down. All right, so let me get back to the bottom. So, let's see. That's it. Okay, all right, that's it. Well, we're going to get out of here. We're going to get out of here. Y'all pardon me for not having my outro music because I don't have my laptop with me. Because I walked out of the house and left it. So I'm kind of mad. But we can still go live on my phone. But thank y'all for being here. All right. Please don't forget to tap on that like. Thank you all for being here. Love you guys down.